Elevator pitch rule. You round a corner in the office and your boss intercepts you, glancing at his watch. Any updates on the Anderson project? He asks, his tone polite but urgent. You feel the instinct to dump every detail you've been juggling, background, metrics, next steps, only to watch his eyes glaze over. That's the natural misstep, drowning him in information he can't process on the fly. Instead, imagine you're in an elevator with him. In 30 to 60 seconds, you simply say, I recommend postponing our user testing phase by 1 week. That extra time will eliminate approximately 20% of avoidable bugs. I'll send an updated timeline to everyone by the end of the day. Then you pause. With no extraneous context, he has exactly what he needs, and he can ask the precise question he cares about. You've honored his time, demonstrated clarity under pressure, and opened the door for real dialogue. Action offer rule. Later that day, you meet a friend at your regular cafe. He slumps into a chair, eyes shadowed, and sighs, I'm completely swamped. Deadlines, family commitments, everything's a blur. Most of us instinctively ask, how can I help? Only to hear a forced smile and another exhale. That vague question forces him to choose which burden to unload onto you. Instead, take the action offer approach. Lean forward and say, can I grab you a latte right now? Or, I can tackle section A of your report tonight. Would that help? Suddenly he knows exactly what relief looks like. Without hesitation, he says, yes, thank you. His shoulders drop and relief floods the moment. By cutting out ambiguity, you transform sympathetic words into tangible support. Reverse help rule. It's Friday evening, and you're both burning the midnight oil. Your colleague has just stayed late to help you polish slides for Monday's keynote. You smile and say, thanks so much, I really appreciate it. Then you hold your breath. If you stop there, that kindness hangs in the air unbalanced. Instead, offer reciprocity. I really appreciate your time. How can I return the favor? That simple question flips the dynamic. You become an active partner rather than just a grateful recipient. In that moment, you cement a bond of trust that goes far beyond any single deadline. Sequential seating rule. The next morning, you walk into a meeting room. Chairs are lined up in rows, and people trickle in slowly, choosing seats without much thought. Most head straight for the middle. It feels natural, centered, neutral. But as more people arrive, it forces awkward shuffling, squeezing past knees, whispered sorries. Instead, you choose a seat on the end. As others come in, you make space only when the ends fill up. You've just made everyone's entrance smoother. No drama, no fuss. Just a quiet signal that you think beyond your own convenience. A small choice, invisible to most, but it reshapes the entire room's flow. Empathy acknowledge rule. Later that afternoon, a teammate corners you by the coffee machine, her voice trembling. I haven't slept in days. My partner's in the ICU. Your gut reaction might be to launch into your own tale of stress, but that one-up move instantly steals away her moment. Instead, practice empathy acknowledgement. Look her in the eye and say, thank you for trusting me with that. It sounds incredibly hard. How are you holding up right now? By naming the emotion and inviting her current experience, you validate her vulnerability and create a safe space for her to share more. That simple shift from comparison to curiosity builds a bridge of understanding that no generic I feel you ever could. Space buffer rule. On your walk home, you stop at a busy bus stop. A line forms, and someone steps uncomfortably close behind you. You freeze, crab walk a step forward, or simply tense up. But with the space buffer rule, you hold an arm's length gap or angle your body slightly away. You're not rejecting them. You're respecting an unspoken personal bubble. That subtle adjustment dissolves tension and keeps everyone feeling at ease, even in a crowded queue. Name echo rule. That evening you attend a networking event. A senior executive introduces herself. I'm Emma Carter, head of marketing. Most people would smile and nod, then move on. But you remember her name instantly and reply, great to meet you, Emma. I saw your team's Q3 campaign results. Doubling engagement, right? Repeating her name and adding a relevant detail makes her feel truly seen and shows you did your homework. Names are the sweetest sounds we hear. Echoing hers signals genuine interest and sets you apart from the crowd. Mirror tone rule. A week later, one evening after work, you're meeting a friend. Same cafe as always, but tonight she's different. Quieter, slower. Her voice drops, her pace softens. You launch into your usual fast-paced story, full of energy and jokes, and notice her eyes drifting. She smiles politely but doesn't follow. You keep talking at your default tempo, trying to lift the mood with more energy, but it only makes her retreat further. Instead, you pause. Match her rhythm. Slower, softer, more open. You let silences breathe. Shift from performing to simply being present. She exhales. Her shoulders drop. She begins to talk, more than she planned. Not because you asked the right questions, but because you created space for her to fill. You didn't change what you said, just how you listened. You left space for her tone, her emotion. In that space, she opened up, and that made all the difference. Input before action rule. You're organizing a weekend hike with your group of friends. Someone suggests meeting at 8 a.m., and your first impulse is to say, "Sounds good." But instead, you pause for a moment. Rather than agreeing right away, you ask, "Does 8 a.m. work for everyone? Is there anyone who might prefer a different time?" By opening the floor like this, you give everyone a chance to share their schedule or concerns. A couple of friends mentioned that an 8 a.m. start is a bit too early for them. Because you invited input before locking in the plan, you avoid last-minute cancellations or awkward rescheduling. The group adjusts smoothly to a slightly later time, and everyone feels heard and included. The hike starts relaxed and on time. No one feels left out or rushed. The vibe tuning rule. You step into a casual meeting, not the stiff kind with slides and graphs, but one of those loosely structured creative huddles. People are mid-flow, tossing ideas, pacing a little, laughing softly. You were planning to open with a bold pitch you practiced all night, but something in the room feels off. Maybe it's fatigue, maybe tension, maybe someone just got bad news. So instead of barging in with full volume confidence, you take 5 silent seconds to read the room. You shift your tone. You start by reflecting their energy, not matching it robotically, but tuning into it with precision. And just like that, the room breathes easier, because you didn't just walk in to be heard. You walked in ready to listen to the unspoken. That's emotional intelligence most people never get taught, and it makes you magnetic without saying a word. The one-bag gap rule. You're boarding a train on a weekday evening. Everyone's tired. Some are scrolling, others just staring into space. You step into the carriage, and there it is. That tempting, empty double seat. You sit, then place your backpack on the seat next to you. It's reflex, not selfishness, just autopilot. But then you pause, glance around. People are filtering in, some eyeing the few remaining spots. Quietly, you lift your bag onto your lap or slide it under the seat. That tiny move doesn't just free up a cushion. It frees up tension. It says, you don't have to ask. You're welcome. You don't need applause for it. No nod of thanks. But for the next 20 minutes, someone sits beside you who would have otherwise stood, and neither of you has to say a word. The carriage feels just a bit more human. All because you remembered. Space is something we share, not claim. Follow the lead rule. That afternoon, you meet a friend who bursts into stories about her recent safari trip. When she pauses mid-tale, you resist the urge to jump in immediately. Instead, you let her complete one vivid scene, her first sighting of lions at dawn, before asking which moment there felt most magical. By honoring her storytelling rhythm, you show genuine curiosity and encourage depth. She lights up, sharing even richer details, and you both enjoy an authentic connection that no rushed interruption could achieve. Energy exchange rule. Sometimes you get more from a moment than you expected. A conversation lifts you out of a fog. A podcast hands you clarity you've been chasing for weeks. A video, maybe this one, gives you language for something you felt but couldn't name. When that happens, you don't owe anyone money. You don't owe them your time, but you can return the favor with something effortless but real. A thank you, a share, a like, a quick subscribe. It costs nothing, but it keeps the current moving. That's how good systems stay alive. Not through obligation, but through quiet mutual reinforcement. You get something, you pass it forward, and the loop completes.